The village green hums with the vibrant chaos of the annual jam, and produce fair as colourful bunting sways gently in the breeze. A brass band struggles with a slightly off-key tune, their efforts adding a charming discord to the festive air. Tables overflow with homemade jams, cakes, and fresh produce, a feast for the eyes and a testament to local talent. A hand-painted sign boldly declares, Barton St. David Annual Jam and Produce Fair Civility Required, a quirky warning. Villagers, dressed in their finest attire, sip tea with an air of grave seriousness. Their expressions a mix of judgment and anticipation. Each face tells a story of quiet scrutiny as they assess every jar and every bake with discerning eyes. Arthur Bellwether, a man in his 60s, stands with an air of self-importance at the judging table, clipboard in hand. His posture is rigid, his brow furrowed in deep concentration as he meticulously inspects a jar of strawberry preserve. The sunlight gleams off a display of prize rhubarb beside him, a vibrant contrast to his intense focus. His gaze, sharp and critical, scans every inch of the preserves, searching for any imperfection. The quiet tension of the judging table is palpable, punctuated only by the subtle hum of the day. He holds the clipboard like a scepter, a silent arbiter of agricultural excellence. Arthur, his face a mask of officious disapproval, gestures dramatically at a jar of strawberry preserve. He declares the preserve's texture an unacceptable viscosity, positively anarchic. Mrs. Dalloway, a woman in her 70s, gasps, her hand flying to her chest in genuine horror. Her eyes widen, reflecting the profound shock of Arthur's dramatic judgment. Mrs. Dalloway's face flushes crimson, her hands gripping the judging table's edge, trembling with disbelief. Her eyes, wide and disbelieving, dart frantically from Arthur to the other judges, searching for an ally. A visible tremor runs through her as she gathers her voice, the tension palpable in the air. "I followed the regulations to the letter," she declares, her voice a desperate plea. Arthur stands unyielding before her, his gaze a steel blade on the judging table. A ripple of scandalized murmurs spreads through the nearby villagers. Their teacups are momentarily forgotten, suspended in midair as their eyes widen in disbelief. Arthur's voice cuts through the stunned silence. "You used a rounded teaspoon of sugar, madam." His eyes narrow, a cold accusation in their depths as he delivers the final blow. His voice, stark and unwavering, echoes with the weight of the rules. The rules specify level. On the sun-drenched village green, P.C. Dawn Wills, a cheerful woman, effortlessly pours tea for a small group of villagers. Her smile is warm and genuine, a beacon of calm amidst the bustling scene. She remains oblivious, her attention focused on the simple act of hospitality. Meanwhile, an unseen tension brews at the judging table, a storm on the horizon. Dawn embodies the quiet, unassuming nature of the village police, a picture of tranquility. Her cheerful demeanor belies the brewing scandal, a stark contrast to the impending drama. Arthur, sharp and precise, delivers his critique, and the Victoria sponge disqualified, excess enthusiasm. Suddenly, a chilling grip on his throat, Arthur's eyes widen in stark, silent terror. A dramatic, agonizing pause hangs heavy, broken only by the slightly off-key brass band. The music plays on, a discordant soundtrack to Arthur's silent, shocking ordeal. Arthur collapses beside the vibrant rhubarb display, his body falling with an unexpected heavy thud. Trevor Hobbs, a man in his 50s, watches Arthur's collapse with an unsettling, detached curiosity. His gaze remains fixed on Arthur, a flicker of amusement in his eyes. The thud of Arthur's fall echoes in the sudden silence, a stark contrast to the lively judging table. Trevor's lips curl into a slight, almost imperceptible smile. He asks, his voice laced with an odd blend of concern and amusement, "Is he meant to be doing that?" PC Dawn Wills, her face a mask of professional calm, strides with purpose towards the fallen Arthur. She kneels beside him, her composure a stark contrast to the unfolding chaos. Her voice cuts through the tension, a command delivered with chilling precision. "Right then." "Everyone remain politely alarmed," she says, her words echoing in the stunned silence. PC Dawn, a seasoned officer, kneels by the judging table, his gaze fixed on something unseen, a grim determination etched on his face. He slowly straightens, a subtle, weary sigh escaping his lips, hinting at the gravity of his discovery. "Oh dear, that's rather final." A hesitant villager raises a trembling hand, eyes wide with concern, the unspoken question hanging heavy in the air. The villager's voice, laced with apprehension, breaks the silence. "Should we move him?" Mrs. Dalloway, sharp and composed, steps forward, her expression firm and unyielding. Her voice, cold and authoritative, cuts through the tension. Not before judging. The village hall is shrouded in an eerie silence, the air thick with unspoken grief and solemnity. In the sombre heart of the hall, Arthur's form lies beneath a Union Jack, a stark symbol of finality. D.I. Nigel Pritchard, a London detective, steps into the hushed space, his weary eyes taking in the scene. He appears utterly out of place amidst the quaint decor, a stranger in a world of hushed villagers. A heavy sigh escapes Nigel's lips, a silent wish to be anywhere but this sombre, bewildering place. His tired gaze lingers on the covered body, the weight of the moment pressing down on him. In the village hall, D.I. Pritchard mutters to himself, his words barely audible, a storm brewing within him. PC Dawn, composed and unfazed, approaches him, a steaming cup of tea in her hand, a beacon of calm. Pritchard looks at her, his expression a mask of utter disbelief at her serene demeanor. "I came here for peace and quiet," he grumbles, the irony thick in his voice. PC Dawn replies, a hint of dry wit in her tone, "And you've got it, sir. Only one murder so far." In the village hall, D.I. Pritchard stares blankly at the tea in his hands, his mind reeling. A flicker of confusion crosses his face, a silent battle waged within his thoughts. PC Dawn, her expression unreadable, simply offers the tea, her gaze steady. Pritchard's eyes, still lost, finally meet hers, a question unspoken. "So far?" he asks, his voice laced with a raw bewilderment. "Standard procedure," Dawn replies, her voice a calm counterpoint to his inner turmoil. At the village hall, Mrs. Dalloway sits across from D.I. Pritchard, a plate of untouched biscuits, a silent testament to the tension. Pritchard leans forward, his gaze fixed on Mrs. Dalloway, and asks, "You argued with the deceased?" Mrs. Dalloway, with an air of indignation, retorts, "He ruined my lemon curd reputation." Then, with a chilling nonchalance, she adds, "I barely touched the cyanide." Pritchard's eyes widen. "You what?" Mrs. Dalloway quickly clarifies. Figure of speech! Reverend Peter Finch, a man of gentle demeanor, fidgets nervously under D.I. Pritchard's intense gaze. D.I. Pritchard's voice cuts through the tension. Reverend, about the chemical compounds found in the vicarage. The Reverend's eyes dart, a nervous smile forming. Oh yes, those, I assure you, they were only for sermon illustrations. Pritchard's sharp "on" is met with a cryptic "the wages of sin and horticulture." Inside the village hall, Trevor Hobbs sits, arms defiantly folded, a stubborn expression etched on his face. He pointedly avoids D.I. Pritchard's gaze, his eyes fixed on a scuff mark on the table, a tiny flaw in a vast world. His voice, thick with resentment, reveals a long-held grievance. Arthur moved his fence 3 inches in 1998. A single loaded question hangs in the air, echoing his deep-seated fear. Where does it end? Edith Crumble, sweet and serene, smiles placidly as Pritchard, leaning forward, holds a notepad with eager anticipation. Pritchard beams, his face brightening at Edith's pronouncement. I saw everything. Pritchard's face falls, his shoulders slumping slightly as Edith delivers her surreal account. First he died, then he drank tea, then the band played backwards. Pritchard attempts to salvage the moment, offering a strained, "Thank you, that's helpful." D.I. Pritchard's brow furrows as he meticulously examines jam jars, his concentration intense. P.C. Dawn approaches, her voice low as she reveals. We found traces of poison in this sample. Pritchard's eyes narrow, a chilling realization dawning as he murmurs, So he was poisoned. Dawn's response hangs in the air. A rye, possibly, or Somerset strawberries, injecting dark humour. In the dim fair stall area, the grainy CCTV monitor casts a flickering glow on D.I. Pritchard and P.C. Dawn's faces. On the screen, a parade of villagers, including Mrs. Dalloway, approaches Arthur. The Reverend and Trevor also appear on the monitor, individually engaging with Arthur at various points. D.I. Pritchard observes the screen, remarking, "That's half the village." P.C. Dawn nods in agreement, stating, "Close-knit community." In the hushed village hall, P.C. Dawn stands poised, a post-mortem report clutched in her hand. D.I. Pritchard sits opposite, his brow deeply furrowed in concentrated thought, awaiting her words. Dawn's voice cuts through the silence, clear and precise. Cause of death, severe allergic reaction. Pritchard's sharp query hangs in the air. To what? Dawn's answer. His experimental low-sugar chutney. Pritchard asks, he killed himself? Dawn replies, technically. A chilling twist as Dawn reveals. However, someone did attempt to poison him earlier. In the dimly lit village hall, a palpable tension hangs heavy as villagers gather, their faces a canvas of anxiety and suspicion. D.I. Pritchard paces with dramatic intensity, his gaze a piercing searchlight sweeping across each anxious face. His voice, a low rumble, cuts through the silence. Arthur Bellwether was widely disliked. Many had motive. The heavy words hang in the air, each villager a suspect under the weight of his accusation. D.I. Pritchard's voice slices through the tense village hall, accusing, "But only one person had access to everything." He spins dramatically, finger shooting out with pinpoint accuracy, landing on an unsuspecting figure, and ensured the investigation stayed delightfully confused. He declares, his finger now fixed on P.C. Dawn. A collective gasp ripples through the assembled villagers, their eyes wide with shock and disbelief. Unperturbed, P.C. Dawn calmly pours tea, the clinking ceramic the only sound in the stunned silence. In the village hall, D.I. Pritchard's voice cuts through the air, low and accusatory, as he confronts P.C. Dawn. P.C. Dawn stands unbothered, her expression a mask of calm as D.I. Pritchard declares, "You tried to poison him." A beat of silence. Then P.C. Dawn's shocking admission. Yes, the villagers, once quiet, begin to murmur, their faces shifting from curiosity to outrage at P.C. Dawn's words. P.C. Dawn calmly explains. He cancelled the fate raffle. The duck pond funding vanished. Mrs. Dalloway gasps. The duck pond, as P.C. Dawn coolly adds, one must have priorities. D.I. Pritchard's brow is deeply furrowed in disbelief, struggling to process the bizarre revelation. P.C. Dawn, a small knowing smile playing on her lips, hands him a steaming mug of tea. Pritchard stares, a stunned silence hanging before he asks, "You planned murder over a duck pond?" Dawn's smile widens slightly as she simply states, "Community morale, sir," she adds, a hint of irony in her voice. Though rather awkward, he died of chutney first. As the sun dips, casting long shadows, police politely escort P.C. Dawn, villagers waving their heartfelt support. The fair's cheerful chaos resumes under a new duck pond fundraiser banner as D.I. Pritchard mutters, "Defeated." P.C. Dawn calls out to him, "Do come again, sir," her voice lingering as he grimly prepares to leave. A villager collapses at the pudding table, spoon still in hand, as Mrs. Dalloway dryly states, "Slight fatality." D.I. Pritchard, declaring "I'm transferring," rushes to his car, muttering, London suddenly seems restful. He speeds away, the peculiar village shrinking in his rearview mirror, a hasty escape from its endless eccentricities.